What's important to remember about this hideous, big, ugly bill, or what we like to call here at IHIP News, the big heaping pile of dog shit, is that nobody's asking for this. Nobody is asking for this type of change. This is completely antithetical to everything dipshit convicted felon ran on. It delivers zero promises. He doesn't even know what's in it. This
Right.
stuff is written by conservative think tanks like the Heritage Foundation and the authors of Project 2025 to consolidate power for a moron like Trump and to fleece the money of working class Americans and transfer it to the wealthy. And here is a poll from Fox. Put this up. The one big, beautiful bill. 59% oppose and 38% favor. And that is Fox News. And I think that 38%, I would say that's probably the percentage of the country that's MAGA. 30 to 38%, somewhere in there.
Well, and Fox viewers specifically are far more, MAGA than most people that you find out in the world. So I agree. It's so for it to be that unpopular with Fox viewers strikes me as stunning.
All right. And then here's another poll on this budget bill. Pop this up. Americans on Trump's spending and tax cut bill, Pew poll, 29% support, KFF polling, 35% report, Quinnipiac, 27%, Washington Post, 23%, and Fox News, you see it there, 38%. These are abysmal underwater numbers, double digit underwater numbers. Again, nobody is asking for this. And so when you see the staggered 20% or the 30%, that is just the cult. That is
Right.
only the cult that follows this. And if tomorrow, or if right now Trump said, you know what, I just read the bill, it's a bad idea, I want to cancel it, that same percentage would just follow him to whatever he said because they don't have free thought.
Absolutely. And, you and I have discussed this numerous times, but I think it's worth hitting again. So we've got the midterms coming up in 26. I did see that the Medicaid cuts wouldn't come till after the midterms, that the Republican, they're trying to make that in the bill. But at what
Oh,
point?
wait, hold up. They're delaying the cuts to go into effect until after the midterms?
It's part of one of the proposals I don't know if it will be adopted, but that has been put up today.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, of course, because,
Yeah.
okay, so that goes into my theory of these people voting on it, these elected officials, they know it's bad.
Of course they do.
They know their constituents don't want it, but they're so beholden to Donald Trump and so scared of a primary, I assume because they couldn't get a job doing anything else, that they're going to vote for it against their constituency. At what point does the constituency turn on them? And or by the time the midterms roll around, we've all forgotten about it. I mean, I'm just fascinated by that question.
I don't know. I mean, I think that when you get inside the Republican thing, I mean, you can look at your parents. They follow Fox News.
Right.
They follow what the personalities at Fox say. Immediately after January 6th, they were kind of hard on Trump, Fox. So then you see the Fox people kind of hard on Trump. And then they start pro-Trump again, and then they just jump right back on board. And so whatever it is or however it's spun, the people that are inside the right-wing media ecosystem, they follow what the thought leaders or unthought leaders in that group say. And there's just, I would like to say that if they lost their health care, that they would be angry about it. But my brother has a guy that works for him whose wife got fired from the IRS because of Elon Musk, not because she did anything wrong, but like it was a huge purge, and lost her insurance, lost her pension, all sorts of stuff, lost her income. Still Trumpers. So I don't know how to get an indoctrinated group of people that tend to be morally flawed as a default setting to champion for causes that are bigger than them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, very fascinating, and it's a calculated risk by these elected officials. It really is.
I think that here's where I get it. If there was a blue tsunami midterms and then we get a real progressive in office, I would say get as much done as possible.
Right.
Put the accelerator to the floorboard, try to impeach Supreme Court justices, get term limits put on their stuff. I mean, I would go as hard as I could. Why wouldn't they do that? That's exactly what they're doing right now. They have the Senate, they have the House, they have the executive branch. And so they're saying, let's break as much of it as we possibly fucking can. This guy's 79, dumber than a box of hot rocks. Let's get as much of this stuff crammed through as possible. So from that regard, I don't like what they're doing, but I get it, because this is their one opportunity. These guys have had a hard on for Social Security, a hard on for Medicare for decades, since Reagan. They don't want anybody getting anything. They think they should get it all. All right, next up, we have the Republican bill is going to increase your electric bill. Put this up. We're exploding the national debt, but at least your energy bill will go up, and 10 million people will lose their health care. So who can really say if it's bad or not? And so prices of electricity and energy are going to increase under this bill. And it's really crazy, like living in this country and seeing a cult of people that like champion for big oil, like drill, baby, drill,
Right.
that none of this benefits them. It only benefits very few people. And they champion for billionaires over and over and over again. And they champion for corporations over and over again to their own detriment. It's really a bizarre split screen to live in this country and know what scientists say, what they've studied, and see the peer-reviewed data and see that that is reinforced by other people in the scientific community around the world. And then there's like Fox and all their followers.
Right.
Right behind Trump. It's wild.
Well, I'll tell you what else is wild to me is Trump puts out a tweet or whatever you call it, a live social, and he says, your costs are going down. We've decreased costs by 400%. Eggs now, they're paying you to take eggs, kind of stuff. And people go to the grocery store and they're paying more money. This is going to be a tangible increase in people's electricity bill. Will that make it tangible to them? Like, he's lying. So if he sends out a true social that says your energy costs are down and they're up 20% and people are actively paying that additional sum, will it click in their brain that these two things are related? I mean, it goes back to my fascination with all this. And maybe it's because at the deep, dark bottom of my black heart, I'm an optimist, that at some point you have to get it if it hits you in the checkbook. But I'm fascinated by all this. Like,
I think that these people are so deeply in the cult. They're deeply indoctrinated to want to own the libs and think that Democrats are, demons. And, these people are from blue states, and there's tribalism and otherizing at its height. Now, independence, yes, this moves independence. This 100% moves independence. The whole fuck around, find out stage that we as progressives want so desperately to happen, I don't think we're going to get it. These people always vote Republican, will always vote for Republican, will die on the Hill, die in debt, fighting for South African-born Elon Musk to not pay taxes. But independence, I think that these issues definitely move. Okay, before we move on, I want you guys to support our show by supporting our sponsor. Recently, I had this itch on like my side right here under my armpit, driving me crazy. I play tennis all the time and it was just dry. And so I got on this app called ZocDoc and I found a dermatologist, and it checked my insurance, made sure there was an appointment that I could go because I work all the time. And I got this cream totally cleared up, tennis game back to normal. Cannot recommend ZocDoc enough.
What I have really found helpful with ZocDoc with a child in a new city is he is able to find a primary health care provider that is peer reviewed and he knows the location. I mean, all of these things, it just takes the hassle out of finding a specialist and or a primary care provider.
Listeners, ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors, and stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/IHIP to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/IHIP. ZocDoc.com/IHIP. Okay, next up, we have Trump's bill is going to cut 1.75 million construction jobs. So here is a report. The trade union that represents America's 3 million construction workers just said the Senate's big bill would be the biggest job killing bill in our country's history. They estimate that it threatens up to 1.75 million construction jobs.
And here's the thing, they're not alone. It's not just construction jobs. It is so many jobs and healthcare. And then even the more insidious, unsaid things like consolidating power in the executive branch, taking it from the judiciary. And I know you're sick of me hearing about, but this goes to, are these triple Trumpers? They're going to lose their health care. They're going to lose their jobs. Their electricity is going to be more. Their costs are going to be more. At any point, do they realize it? Or, Fox News says it's patriotic to pay more.
You would know more than me.
I don't know. I think
if your parents lost money in their 401k, they're triple Trumpers, go to church every time the doors open, house full of guns, all the stuff that all the triple Trumpers have. If they lost money in their 401k, are they going to go vote for a guy like Zohran Mamdani, who is a Muslim that fights for everyone? No, they'll never fucking do it. They'll never do it. Ever. These people that are triple Trumpers are beyond help. And I know you love your parents and a lot of people have these issues, but they will not vote because their bigotry is bigger than their purpose. And that's what triple Trumpers have in common. They'll never vote for a Kamala Harris. They'd never vote for a Barack Obama. They just won't do it.
See, I do think the love of money might move them. No, it would not move them to vote for, like a Kamala Harris or a Hillary Clinton. But would it change how they thought and maybe make them not vote? That would be probably the best I could hope for. But
these people saw a violent insurrection at the Capitol, a violent insurrection, and voted for the man that caused it again. This is a cult. It is a CULT, and they get their information from Fox and others. And I just think that the racist default setting of so many Americans always is going to override any sense of, I'm done with this party. I think you see a few people that have done that. The overwhelming majority, they voted Republican their whole lives. They'll continue to do it.
It's really sad.
Independents, I think, will move, but not triple Trumpers.
Guess we're getting ready to find out. Midterms are going to be interesting.
All right. We'll see you all later.